In this example, we are going to walk through how to graph an exponential equation in MyMathLab and all the little kind of pieces that it takes to make this work. So we're going to click on, well, let's kind of talk about the equation real quick. This is your basic exponential. This is the b value is going to determine growth or decay. This is going to be your left and right shift, your horizontal effect on the graph. Anything on the outside is going to be a vertical effect. So this is going to be a vertical stretch, and this is going to be a vertical shift. So this is what we got. So we should have exponential growth because of the 3. This we have to tweak a little bit, and this is a +2, so we're going to be shifting up 2. So let's take a look at this, and we have to tweak this to make it look more like that. We want to put the x first, and we need it to be a positive x. So when we shift this, we're going to have a negative, and then x +2. Oops, sorry, too much. We have a negative x +2. Okay, is our first thing that we're going to do. So we're just rearranging the order on this. Next thing is I do need it to be a positive x, so we're going to factor off the negative, which then changes the sign. So that makes that a positive x, makes this a -2. All right. The kind of effect that this is going to have is it's going to horizontally reflect your graph. So if your basic exponential graph looked like that, which ours should because of the exponential growth, we're going to horizontally reflect it, which means we're going to reflect it along the y-axis. And so everything here, it's going to reflect along the y-axis. And so it's actually going to make it an exponential decay because of that negative. Another way to think of that is that negative is going to be like a negative exponent, making this a 1/3. Okay, so that's kind of what we have going on. So let me rewrite what it is. And so we'll have to pay attention to something as we put this into MyMathLab. Okay, so here's the graph that we have. Our graph should shift up 2, should shift right 2, and should be horizontally reflected, which is reflection along the y-axis. So it should look like a decay. Okay, so let's graph that. So we'll click on this, and we'll start to graph some of our pieces. All right, we're going to click the exponential. Even though it's exponential decay, we'll adjust that as we go. And right now, initially, you just kind of click anywhere, and it'll just automatically throw a basic exponential. One thing I want to start with is making sure that the base is what I want it to be. This is supposed to be a 3, which agrees with us supposed to have a 3 here. Vertical stretch would be any kind of an a value, which we don't have an a value, so there is no stretch, so that means your a value is 1, which is what it's already locked at. Horizontal stretch would be any kind of a number that we would have factored off and sitting out here other than the negative. The negative is a reflection, so we don't have that either. So our vertical shift should be right 2. Sorry, that's vertical. It should be up 2. Wrong piece. So up 2. So there that is. And then our horizontal is going to shift right 2. So you can see the graph was kind of shifting to the right as I did this. And then when we click on this, we are having a reflection across the y-axis. So that gives us an exponential decay. But notice that it messed with my reflection. It shifted it now 2 to the left because it would have been right here. So if I go back to that, there's my main point. But when I reflected it, it reflected everything. So it also reflected my shift that I'd already done. So there's an order to this that you can get wrong if you don't pay attention to, like if I didn't have any kind of a shift and then I just started then by shifting right 2, then it would have been okay. But if I would shift it first and then reflect it, it's going to take that shift right 2 and going to reflect it over. So I just have to be careful with it. You may want to reflect it first and then shift because I should have been shifting that direction. All right, so let's take a look at it. So it should have been right here because our main point was here. It shifted up 2 and to the right 2. And we have now an exponential decay because of the negative, the reflection that we have going on. So that should take care of it. Perfect. All right. And hope that helped. And that was graphing an exponential. And you just got to be careful with the horizontal shift that it may undo the shift that you already did. So you may have to tweak it.